You're listening to the Just Crissin Around podcast. Here's Christopher Scott.
Hey guys, welcome to Just Crissin Around with the Casablanca Kid. So, I started growing Casablanca Kid across multiple platforms for a while there. My favorite movie of all time has always been Casablanca. Ever since a English class, incredible teacher, we were learning about World War II history, and we watched that movie. It resonated with me. It hit me right in the feels. I know probably a lot of kids in high school class, they didn't get it. They didn't understand it. They didn't maybe care. Because it's a black and white film. Why should I care? And that brings me to why you should care about my podcast. So I do a wide range of different content on, TikTok, on YouTube. I'm a part of a YouTube channel called the Movie Hero Network, which I started with a good friend of mine, Jordan, and kind of because of life and everything, I had to kind of step away from it. But I'm still a part of it, and I'm glad to be part of it. But that's where Casablanca Kid came from. That's where that sort of evolved. That name, the moniker, across, all my sort of socials. And then I started doing different creative things, because I've always been a pretty creative person. But it was putting those things into motion, putting those things into action. Well, this is that thing. So continuance of that, putting that thing into action. I've thought about hitting that record button. I've thought about what it would look like to do my first podcast episode of Just Crissin Around. On the surface, this is a variety style podcast. I do have some friends, acquaintances, if you will, who I've met along the way. Because, I talk to everybody. I love talking to people. My job allows me to interact and meet a lot of amazing people. I probably might not necessarily talk about my job specifically, but I feel like it's a part of me. I get to interact with lots of people on a daily basis. I work for Albertsons. I've worked for them for 8+ years. It's a great company to work for. But that's not my whole identity, though. So along the way, I've made some acquaintances and friends who I'm going to be interviewing. But on the surface, this is not just an interview-style podcast. Sometimes there'll be things, probably episodes, where I talk with my friends, like maybe Jordan, maybe Mike Lupati, who famously played for the Seahawks when he retired for them. 4-time Pro Hall of Famer. I'm not about to start dropping names either. But along the way, I've been very fortunate to talk to and meet lots of different people who have done lots of interesting things. Another friend of mine who has been in the video game industry, created video games and worked on video games. And one of my passions, I love playing games. I'm a collector as well. So, I've slowly built that collection up. But I digress. So this is the first episode of what I hope will be an ongoing podcast called Just Crissin Around. A good friend of mine and regular recorded professional introduction and closeout, which you're going to hear, for Just Crissin Around. On the surface, I imagine it as a variety-style radio podcast. Growing up, so I'll be 42, but I remember hearing reruns or the playbacks of the old style, like radio shows, from of course Garrison Keillor, back to The Shadow, to other radio programs. I remember we had Lord of the Rings on tape, which is so interesting. It's such a cool way to share those books. So I remember listening to those all the time. So this is not necessarily a just interview podcast. It could literally just be me turning on the camera, talking to you, just like this, interacting with you. And sure, I'm going to overthink things. I'm going to want to turn this camera off and edit it. And work through things and perfect it. And make it just perfect. I'm recording this from my car right now. I'm about to head into my gym to get a workout in. Because, well, I've decided on some level that I need to sort of get into a positive habit. Something that will help me overall feel better about myself. Have more energy. Because I'm not getting any younger. Same time, I'm not getting any older either. And also, that's another thing. As I've gotten older, I've become to appreciate who I am. From the rings I wear on my fingers. Recently, well, a week ago, got my very first tattoo. It's a Squirtle Pokemon. I plan to get more at this point. I think at this point, I'm going to definitely probably make this a sleeve. I want to make these into Polaroid photos. And below him will be a Polaroid photo with Michelangelo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in. I think he's going to have a piece of pizza with a cheese pull. And on the wall behind him, brick wall, I can imagine Foot Clan, graffiti. That's what I imagine. And then below that will be what I imagine is a Polaroid camera with a picture rolling out of it. I can't entirely claim, this is my idea. Some friends I was talking to gave me this idea. With part of it being revealed, the green turtle shell from Super Mario Brothers. So all these different things that I love epitomized together in one spot on my arm. But across these platforms, from a series I've done called Pirates on a Beach to a series called Reynolds Wild West Wonder. All creative elements and all leaning more and more into who I am as a person. Chris, the Casablanca Kid. I remember, probably like many of you, when I was younger, I loved to read. But that wasn't cool then. I'm not gonna lie, I was bullied for it. I was picked on. But then again, being kind of a geek or a nerd wasn't popular then. It wasn't seen as cool. But then as I've gotten older, identifying and realizing who I am has become awesome, because you find like-minded people who appreciate that. And you still do it sometimes. You find yourself apologizing, saying things like, I'm sorry, but this is who I am. When instead, you'll find people who will accept you and lean into you and love every bit of it and encourage you to be yourself. Encourage you not to get excited about a movie, get excited about a new video game, get excited about in this case, maybe a Spider-Man. I cannot wait for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Just saw Supergirl. Loved it. Pressure. Great World War II movie. Phenomenal performance from Brendan Fraser. But I've always been kind of told when I was younger, hey, you got to tone that down. You can't get so excited about stuff. That's not true, though. And I've also been, along the way, very fortunate to be blessed with parents who have encouraged that in me and never marginalized it. I always loved to write. So I remember my dad signing me up for Log Cabin Writing Center. Because he wanted to encourage that thing in me. And I still love to write. So one of these days, I'm definitely going to write a book. I have lots of books on the back burner that I need to finish. But this is something I always felt compelled to do. And on the surface, I started this as a way to interview my father, which I will eventually be doing that interview with him. I don't necessarily know if it's going to be the first podcast I do, but it's going to be there. I'm going to sit down with my father. And I feel like it might be multiple parts, actually. On the surface, I started this to interview and talk to my father about his time working on movies. as well. I like working on movies. But he's in such an exciting life that is sort of mystifying to me. It's one of those things where you're just like, wow. But that's kind of how I feel about certain people I meet every day that sort of blow me away by their accomplishments, by what drives people, by what makes them feel happy or feel like they can be themselves. So on the surface, Just Crissin Around is about, well, you'll see me talking to different people who have met along the way, and it's what drives them outside of just their job, what makes them do what they've done and love it. Because I think that's everything. Because I feel like if you're like me, there are certain people that have tried to squash that excitement down. Well, I don't want that to be a thing. I want that to be projected. I want that to be personified. I really should have had a plan when I started this. I didn't. I just turned the camera on and went for it. And I think that's what the part of this is going to be. As I go along and I do episodes, yes, they'll be planned. They'll be organized. They'll be put together. But this is it. This is the very first episode of what I hope will be a very long, exciting, prosperous podcast called Just Crissin Around with Chris. And hopefully friends will come along the way to talk about movies, to talk about video games, to talk about what drives them. I want to maybe do a radio-style drama. That'll be fun to me. But this is it, guys. Welcome. Welcome to Just Crissin Around with the Casablanca Kid. You guys are amazing. And you're in for a hell of a ride. Question is, will you stick it out with me? Thank you for joining me. You guys have a good one.
Want to take a moment to thank my friend Bret Conner for creating that cool introduction to Just Crissin Around, and to my good friend Cameron for creating the image you saw. Be seeing you.